All right, chat. So, yeah, we're on time, so you guys can suffer. You're eating the sandwich. No, it's on time, so booyah. Ka-cha. Booyah, booyah, booyah. So, let's get to this, chat. Ooh, buddy, we're getting to some interesting stuff now. And I'm going to tell you guys, I'm not liking how this looks. I am not liking how this looks. That doesn't mean I'm right, but right now, I don't like this. And once again, I could be wrong, and I'm willing to be wrong. But right now, this is... We'll see. We'll see what this means actually here. But we'll get to this. Anyways, guys, welcome to the show. And let's get started. Yeah, there's suffocamies, but then there's just the way that, like I told you guys, it's like I had to tell Pisco, I don't like the way shit is being done, but I like the overall goal. I just don't like how things are being executed. So we're going to get to this. I might have said I can't openly be Antifa anymore. That's exactly it. That's exactly it. Yes. Vi говорите по-русски. Я говорю по-русски. So, yes, I kept my promise to come back on. Of course, chat. This is kind of important. To see how this is going right now. This is kind of important. Okay, so if you guys don't know what happened tonight, Jimmy Kimmel, the former, Jimmy Kimmel made famous by the Man Show. Well, Jimmy Kimmel last night had a monologue where obviously was not a fan of Charlie Kirk. And this is the way this went. I'm not enthralled, but that doesn't mean I'm not seeing it right. If I'm wrong, we could see that. But anyways, Jimmy Kimmel made a comment. He made a monologue last night. And we're going to listen to that. We'll start there. And kind of go from there on things. So let's start with that, and we'll go through this. You didn't see it. I didn't see it either. So we're going to take a look at it here. So here we go. It's poor quality, but that's because that's the best we got. Anyways, let's see what Jimmy Kimmel said.
We hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it. In between the finger pointing, there was grieving. On Friday, the White House flew the flag.
So, I mean, it was one of your boys, Jimmy. But he's desperate not to do it. Jimmy Kimmel's gotten very partisan. But anyways.
Flags at half staff, which got some criticism. But on a human level, you can see how hard the president is taking this.
My condolences on the loss of your friend Charlie Kirk. May I ask, sir, personally, how are you holding up over the last day and a half, sir?
I think very good. And by the way, right there, you see all the trucks. They've just started construction of the new ballroom for the White House, which is something they've been trying to get, as you know, for about 150 years. And it's going to be a beauty.
Yes. Okay. He's at the fourth stage of grief, construction. Demolition, construction. This is not how an adult grieves the murder of someone he called a friend. This is how a 4-year-old mourns a goldfish, okay?
So that's all. Okay. So what happened from there? Well, Benny Johnson, the guy who took a lot of money from Tenet Media and a lot from the Russians, the SVR, funneled through Lauren Chen, he had on Brendan Carr. Brendan Carr is the chairman of the FCC, and he had him on today. And yeah, his ratings are in the tank. And when I heard this at first, I was thinking it's just like Stephen Colbert. They're all hemorrhaging fucking money, and they're getting canceled. They're all getting canceled. Bolt Carey says, let's hear it before I block your channel. Well, do whatever you got to do, honey. Yeah. Anyways, here is Brendan Carr on talking about this whole thing.
Mr. Chairman, thank you so much for being on our program. This is something that obviously has concerned a great many number of people about Jimmy Kimmel's monologue. What does the FCC's stance on this?
Also, I'm not going to lie, that was a pretty limp dick monologue. Other than him saying that it was a right-wing shooter, it's like, other than that, that was pretty limp, like his dick.
Certainly is a heightened moment in American history where you do not want to see copycats, you do not want to see further radicalization, but by slandering and maligning and distorting what happened to Charlie Kirk, Jimmy Kimmel seems to be inviting it.
Yeah, well, first of all, Benny, I don't think, you and I haven't had a chance to talk yet.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that. He's not Destiny. If he was doing what Destiny said, yeah, this ain't that one it.
Since Charlie Kirk's death, and I think I was going to join everything that you've been saying about Charlie, his life, an amazing man. I think what was so revealing in the last few days is, I think what dawned on so many people is that, everyone I think knew that Charlie Kirk had said something kind to them, had lifted them up when they were at, either a low point in their career or at no point.
Well, I mean, if you're going to come in here and strut like a queen, I'll address you as one. So, I mean, really, you're like, I'm going to block you. Well, then what the fuck, dude? Like, get to getting or shut the fuck up. I don't want to see people leave, but don't fucking I'm going to see what you say before I block you. It's like, then just do it. Don't be all passive aggressive like a fucking Ukraine supporter. Kind of gay.
In their career, when you saw so many people conveying their stories with Charlie, you saw a sort of a connection across hundreds and thousands of people that you knew he meant something to you, but you didn't know that he had somehow found the capacity to be that sort of meaningful inspiration for so many people. I think that's why there's sort of a dawning on people and a reflection in the last couple of days that's been so meaningful to see. When you look at the conduct that has taken place by Jimmy Kimmel, it appears to be some of the sickest conduct possible. As you've indicated, there are avenues here for the FCC, so there are some ways in which I need to be a little bit careful, because we could be called ultimately to be a judge on some of these claims that come up. But I don't think this is an isolated incident. I mean, you go back to Representative Swalwell, and he had a tweet out last week where he was saying that, emphasizing that Charlie Kirk's killer was a straight white male from a Republican.
What does that have to do? But you're not policing Eric Swalwell. So where are we going with this, Chairman Carr?
Family that voted for Donald Trump. In some quarters, there's a very concerted effort to try to lie to the American people about the nature, as you indicated, one of the most significant, newsworthy public interest acts that we've seen in a long time. And what appears to be an action by Jimmy Kimmel to play into that narrative that this was somehow a MAGA or Republican motivated person. If that's what happened here with his conduct, that is really, really sick. And I've been very clear from the moment that I have become chairman of the FCC, I want to reinvigorate the public interest. And what people don't understand is that the broadcasters, and you've gotten this right, are entirely different than people that use other forms of communication. They have a license granted by us at the FCC, and that comes with an obligation to operate in the public interest. And we can get into some ways that we've been trying to reinvigorate the public interest and some changes that we've seen. But frankly, when you see stuff like this, I mean, look, we can do this the easy way or the hard way. These companies can find ways to change conduct, to take action, frankly, on Kimmel, or there's going to be additional work for the FCC ahead.
What kind of action would you see? I, at the very least, would like to have an.
Okay, like I said, chat, I don't like where this is going. I don't see how what he did was egregious. Once again, if he's Destiny, if he's acting like Destiny, saying, the conservatives need to feel more fear. Yeah, but this, no.
On air apology from Jimmy Kimmel to the Kirk family, to all of those who he slandered, because he did say that Charlie Kirk, he is effectively saying that our movement did this.
Notice he's effectively saying, not saying, effectively saying. So now we're getting into some of this. We're getting into some of the faggotry here. No, I don't give a shit what did he say?
Our movement killed Charlie, that Charlie was deserving of this, effectively. And we've seen that rear its head. This happens quite regularly, actually, on MSNBC and on other networks where they're trying to victim blame. And what that does, Mr. Chairman, respectfully, is continues the lie and continues the threat level to say effectively that we have no share in this problem at all on the left. This is a clear-cut case. What would you like to see done at ABC?
Well, look, I think what you said there strikes me as a very reasonable, minimal step that can be taken. I mean, obviously, look, there's calls.
No, fuck that. Forcing him to apologize, no. Forcing them to do an actual retraction like that, fuck all that. Fuck all that.
For Kimmel to be fired. I think, you could certainly see a path forward for suspension over this. Again, the FCC is going to have remedies that we could look at. Again, we may ultimately be called to be a judge on that. But
yes.
This also strikes me as sort of conduct that to some extent shows some sort of desperate irrelevance. I mean, we're sort of exiting an era where the three main legacy broadcast networks could control and dictate the narrative to the American people. And one of the things that President Trump did when he ran for office, he ran directly at that legacy media establishment. He smashed the facade that they get to control.
And that's my point here. God damn you, Donald fucking Trump. God damn you, Brandon Carr. You're making me defend Jimmy fucking Kimmel. God fucking damn you. God damn you. God damn you. Because this all happened, and then immediately from there, Next Star Media Group put out this, and this came out earlier today. They say, we've announced that it's one of the biggest media groups in the country, if not the biggest. They announced that the company's owned and partnered television stations they would preempt Jimmy Kimmel Live for the foreseeable future, beginning with tonight's show. Now, as an independent company, they have every right to do that. That may violate agreements they have with ABC television, but that is possible. We object to the recent comments made by Kimmel concerning the killings of Charlie Kirk, and will replace the show with other programming in its ABC-affiliated markets, which I guess in some places they're showing fucking Charlie Kirk stuff, which, ha 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 ha. The comments about the death of Mr. Kirk are offensive and insensitive at a time in our national political discourse, and we do not believe they reflect the spectrum of opinions, views, and things which our communities are located. It says, continuing to Kimmel a broadcast platform in the communities we serve is simply not in the public interest at the time, and we have the difficult decision to preempt his show in an effort to let cooler heads prevail as we move forward with the resumption of respectful, constructive dialogue. If that was just them, I would be totally fine with this. I'd be totally fine if this is just them. But it's not. But it's not right now. Do I think they were ever going to drop him and they went out with a bang? I mean, maybe. But I don't know. So ABC bet the need a next star, not Trump. If they did, sure. But I want to know what the fuck was said, and I want to know if ABC, I guess here's my concern. And this is something I guess my concern is if ABC really was getting punked around by the government, I assume ABC would have run around screaming with their hair on fire. And more importantly, I think we'll see in the next day or two if they did this, really, because I doubt it would stay secret for long. So the fact that nobody's reporting on that or leaking documents or leaking information, or somebody in ABC saying the execs were afraid of this happening, at Disney, Bob Iger and all those guys are fucking terrified. That gives me pause to think this didn't happen. But if the FCC did get involved, that's fucking no bueno. That is no fucking bueno. Eric says, isn't this just a consequence of his free speech, though? If the government's not involved, yes, I fully agree with it. But if the government was involved, I don't. I don't want them involved like that. And the Darkest Alley says, when are we're going to be the moralists as principal shiz why the left kills us with impunity. I don't need the government cracking down on shit. The market should crack down on it for us. So as long as this was done without the FCC's actual involvement, then fine. But it's like, I can't tell right now. So I'm holding off on this. I I'm going to hold off like you just tweeted out before we started. I'm like, this doesn't look so fucking good. That doesn't mean it won't be, but as of right now, I'm holding off. I'm going to give this a little bit of time because I don't know. I don't know what's going to come out. If it turns out, yeah, it's all fine, then great, based. If it doesn't turn out good, then we're gonna have to address the problem. You guys were under the impression Nexstar and ABC did this. Yeah, I'd like to think so, but we don't know for sure because that came out. That's pretty powerful fucking comments from the chairman of a Federal Regulatory Commission. That's pretty fucking powerful. So. Worst Viking ever. You don't get to spam. You can't spam out a tower. That doesn't count. Can't do that shit. If I got to put you in timeout, I will, man. You can't do it on your own. We don't eat spam here. This isn't Hawaii. It's a PR move for Nexstar to dump Kimmel and save face. You'd think so, and I think so too. Like I said, I think he's hemorrhaging money like Colbert did. That's the reason why Stephen Colbert is gone. Nobody fucking watches him. But fucking Brendan Carr running his mouth like this doesn't make me feel confident that was the case. So that's why I got a problem. That's why I have a big fucking problem. Till we can figure this out, and I need to get to the bottom of it. Sinclair did it too later on. Yeah, but I still need to know. I still need to know what happened there. So, you think Disney's too house poor to fight it right now? I could see that, call me. Yeah, I could definitely see that. Disney's hurting money. They're hemorrhaging money right now. We'll see, though. Like I said, it's up there. Are we pretending like Kimmel's their moneymaker? No. No. It's just like Stephen Colbert. They're losing money on him. It's the same reason why Colbert got fired. They're blaming it on Trump. And no, the issue is nobody fucking wants to listen to you guys, so they have to cut cost. So, Papa says, where are the mods? I'm going to take care of it here. Give me a second. I'm trying to get in here to do it. I think the mod, they come and go. I don't require the mods to show up. And that's just because that's what we do. So, yeah. Yeah, we are going to figure this out. We'll try this again in a little bit here. Okay. So, I don't... that's what it's going to come down to. We got to figure out what this is and what it isn't. Yeah, we had the shit covered. The FCC didn't have to get involved. Since when can the FCC do stuff without filing something publicly? They make a phone call saying, hey, guys. Hey, ABC people. I'm over here at the FCC. We'd really be ashamed if you guys got in trouble. Like, the FCC has contacted privately media organizations before. That's not a new thing. That is not a new thing at all, sellers. Let me tell you, that's not new at all. So, let's see here. A veiled threat by the FCC? I think so. They have talked about the Trump stripping all the big three of their licenses for broadcasting. Yeah, and see, that's where it's kind of getting a little out of hand. And, this is just, don't like it. Don't like it. Yeah, the FCC used to threaten radio stations for Howard Stern. Yeah. The FCC threatening broadcasters is not a new thing. It's a tale as old as time. So, see, Donald Trump, you're making me defend Kimmel is holding off. No, I think so. I think it is. I'm fucking upset that I might have to do this. But right now it doesn't look good. So, Bella says the left isn't killing us. Oh, yes, they are. There are fucking organized terrorist cells of leftists out there right now. So, attacking government installations and trying to kill people. So, yes, they're a problem with the left. They wish to see you dead too. Yeah, he should be timed out by now, guys. Bass Player says they are toothless. If they are serious, Stern wouldn't have been around as long as he was. Well, remember, at that point, like, you know, like, by the time Stern really hit big, I mean, throughout the 80s, but it's really into the 90s, they're like Bill Clinton's FCC. They aren't going to do what they want. Let's see here. Your panties are aflame for no reason. I don't know, man. I got a concern. Takedown DDT says, found you during the Karen Reed trial. Appreciate the starting John comments. Appreciate the content. Well, thank you. Like I said, this is, yeah, we'll see. But thank you for being here. Thank you so much. Sponsored pressure is doing the Lord's work. Yeah, and if that's all it is, great. But when the FCC chairman shows up and like that fucking day, he's gone. It's again, chat. You don't have to believe, you know, I'm not telling you to believe in something here, but like, got a little sussiness going. What evidence is there of the FCC doing any more in the podcast? Because it happened less than 8 hours later. Like 6 hours later, Jimmy Kimmel was done. Which means even earlier, Jimmy Kimmel was probably done. So unless Jimmy Kimmel was already dead and buried before Brendan Carr went on, I got concerns. So. I stream almost every night, consistent as DSP. Thank you. Who's widely inconsistent? Chubby Icar says, Sean, I just harvested 100 peppers. How was your garden? Garden did not go very well this year. We really didn't get it done, so no. We kind of didn't have time. So. And Island, I understand. I'm sorry you're upset with that. I moderated that guy out, so we're done. Let's see here. The Clyde is second in command around here, even though he gives orders to the fat man. Yeah. Perhaps Nextstar only found out about the revolt after the Carr remarks. I don't know, man. I don't think so, because people were up in arms, but I want to know how that fucking timeline breaks down, because I got massive problems. And yeah, they wanted a reason then to show. I agree, Island, but if as long as it was that, I'm all for it. But if Brendan Carr fucking said that and then ABC reacted, I have a big problem with it. Even if he didn't explicitly say, do this or we're going to fucking ruin you. That's where I have the problem. And I want to make sure that's not the case. So right now, I'm very sus. Very, very sus right now. This is like, prove me wrong, Charlie Kirk. Prove me wrong. Show me a timeline. Show me a timeline right now. But yeah, I agree. Ultimately, they were going to get rid of them. All these guys, Seth Meyers, all these shows are going to get torched. After Colbert, all these shows are on a razor's edge. Yeah. Yep. Yes, Chaz was in Seattle. Yes. 10K views says just them having the last fingerprints on the dead show, which the death was coming. Yeah, but I mean, like, I need to make sure that they didn't fucking do it. I need to make sure they didn't do it. Bass player says correlation, or bass player says correlation is not causation. Correct. But if you're going to tell me this isn't what it looks like, tell me what it looks like then. Because it looks like that. I bet Valiant Renegade can straighten out your concerns. Maybe he can. And I'll talk to him about that. But I got a little sussiness there. And Jimmy Kimmel, I don't care about. Fuck him and his money. I don't give a shit. Topher is saying the affiliates decided not to show him. Then Disney dropped him. Then the FCC came in. I hope so. I hope so. I hope so. I hope that's where we are. Yes, my garden was gray this year. Yes, that was. It was all a disaster. So, Andrew for $5 Canadian here, 5 loonies or 2.5 toonies says, if convicted, what are the actual chances of him having a death sentence actually carried out within a reasonable time or at all? I mean, it's not Texas, so it's not going to be fast, but if he gets that within 20 years, I could see it happening, but it's not going to happen right away. So like 15, 20 years. So Chubby Icarus says, I was rooting for you. I know you were, but it was really cold here for a while, and like we couldn't plant stuff, and then it got way too hot, and like plants were dying and flowers are dying. So yeah, it wasn't a good planting year here for us. Was not a good planting year. I said you're well consistent in your chat standards. It wasn't. I understand you're saying it's not about tonight. I understand your frustration from the other night. So. Becky Twig is saying Nexstar wasn't happy for a while, according to the rumor. Yeah, well, we'll see. We'll see. Like I said. Yeah, it's a pretty convenient excuse to drop him at the very least. And like I said, that's what I need. That's what I mean. Pepsi Man says, we are so back. It's like I said, if it's not a problem, it's not a problem. But I'm noticing things right now. I notice some things right now. EDW Raptor for $10 says, freedom of speech, not freedom of the airwaves. Correct. These networks have a privilege to be able to operate where they do. Yes. And let's be honest, ABC was probably looking for a way out of a contract. Okay. As long as their fingerprints aren't on this, but right now their fingerprints are on it, and I need to know why their fingerprints are on this. And if it's not a big deal, fine. But if it is, we need to know. We need to know. Krypton says the Ricada should be suspended indefinitely and steel toe aired in his place. Oh no. Base kicker or bass kicker says lawyers get too caught up in the process. Results are what matter. And I understand that. But I wanted the right result. I'm not worried about the process. I'm worried about the result. Scarebro says in a dark room somewhere, liberal celebrities are performing their own version of Shirley Jackson's The Lottery for the greater good. That would be funny. And I love that movie with the rocks and shit. But yeah. Apta says, do I think Destiny crossed a legal line in his speech? No. Remember, you have to incite imminent lawless action, saying there need to be more of them dead before they understand. We need to kill more of them so they come back to the table. I don't think that's inciting imminent lawless action. You know, it's getting closer than anybody's ever heard someone just talk about on YouTube before, but it's not there. It's not there, I don't think. At least to me, it's not. Yeah, I agree. It's a smoke screen, like it could be. He was universally hated and he was too expensive and they ran out of the USAID money. I mean, like I said, show me and let me know that's the case. But right now, like I said, as someone pointed out, the FCC's fingerprints are like they're found at the crime scene. I need to know why they're there. No, Sir Santa saying, could it be they fired him due to fear of an Alex Jones style lawsuit? ABC would never get that kind of thing to happen to him because there would never be a judge. Like there would never be a Republican judge who would fuck them over like that. They have too much integrity. So no, I don't think they were worried about that. That is a good question though. Well, then don't defend him. I'm like, they're making me do it. The EDW Raptor says, I think a retraction is needed. It isn't like an entire country could file a lawsuit against him for defamation of political party or movement. Well, even then you can't. So if they want to do a retraction, they can, but forcing him to do one, no, I don't like that. And Bass Player is saying FCC didn't do anything. This clip is pointless. How do we know? It was a local affiliate that said we're pulling Kimmel something like 40 or 50 markets. I get that, but I want to know the timeline. And yes, Jimmy Kimmel was a sacrificial lamb. His ratings were losing to Gutfeld. Well, Greg Gutfeld was beating Stephen Colbert and Seth Meyers and all those guys. He tried to thread the needle after Colbert was canceled. His comments were seppuku. Yeah, seppuku, maybe. Maybe. I don't buy that. T-Rex and crypto on their travels. for $10. Well, for $9.99. Says the Sinclair Broadcast Group says they're going to air memorials of Charlie Kirk and an apology to Erica tonight instead of Kimmel. Well, based. Good. They're allowed to do that. Good on them. BobTube has been a member for 10 months. He says, climate freaks, BLM, Antifa, now this. Yep. Thank you for being here, Bob. And then let's see here. Scarebro says, I'm not saying it's good, but they keep handling Trump more rope. I know I have crossed the aisle simply because how blatantly the left lies about him. It makes them immune to actual concerns about him. Yeah, like, this is a time where if they run around screaming like, oh, my fascism, like, okay, people might actually listen, but every other time is fascism. The T-Rex in crypto again for $9.99. Says, my understanding is ABC and Disney didn't a show. Just the affiliate stations are deciding not to air it. I don't believe Jimmy Kimmel has been actually fired. Well, even if they fire him, they're going to give him money because he's going to have a severance package. They're going to pay him off. And then Johnson. Oh, the quote, naming out yourself after the greats. Became a YouTube member. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. And then Fire PA 498 says, the time between Carr speaking and Kimmel fired almost as short as Conan O'Brien's time as host of the Tonight Show. Safa. That's cold, man. Making fun of Conan O'Brien. He did nothing wrong. Conan O'Brien did nothing wrong. He got done dirty by Jay Leno. But thank you. And then Mystery Sniper for $14.88 says 9. Yes, 9. Oh. No. I enjoy creative names. I do too. Poff says, I did it again, damn it. Adam Carolla is funnier than Jimmy Kimmel, yes. And an article said they halted production of the show, yeah. Well, if affiliates aren't covering it, then yeah, that's it. So, Sean hates chat. I do. I hate all of you. And actually, you know what's wrong? It's just like Banner Brothers. Sean doesn't hate chat. He just hates you. So Alexis Velez says, so a freer country in the United States is Mexico? I mean, it depends. If the government had no involvement here, then no. You could say criticism to our president in Mexico now. Yeah, but you kind of have to worry about, all the, cartels and all that. So, I mean, like, there is some freedom there, but yeah, like I said, it's up in the air right now. Oh. Let's see here. What else we got? Sinclair doesn't even need a reason to pull Jimmy Kimmel off the air. No, Tim, and it's good to see you, Tim. Yeah, no, these companies can refuse to air Jimmy Kimmel. Now, that might jeopardize the contracts they have with the ABC television or the distribution companies. But yeah, they have every right to not air it. You can't force them to air this stuff. So Nexstar could just air whatever they wanted at that time frame. They could have the boot screen where it's like the off-air screen. They could air other stuff. They could come up with some local programming. I don't know. They could do something. So it's entirely up to them. But, there are going to be some contractual provisions for certain things, undoubtedly. And it'd be funny if ABC replaced Kimmel with Adam Carolla. Well, no, they like Jimmy Kimmel. They like his stuff. They're like, yes, hello, fellow communists. They're only doing this so they don't get sued or threatened by the FCC. So this isn't like an actual, like, we're not friends anymore. They realize Jimmy Kimmel's a piece of shit. They're just realizing, like, we don't want to get in fucking trouble. So that's all they're doing there. Anyways. All aboard the irony train. What am I catching on right here? Oh, that's what I'm doing here. Hold on, chat. Need to fix this. Bring back Conan O'Brien. I think Conan O'Brien's happy not doing shit anymore after he got paid off for after he got paid off after they fucked him. And then his show on TBS. Did you say Conan O'Brien or Conan the Barbarian? Yeah. Let's say the rise to power is apart due to the authoritarian church ladies yelling about video games and rap music. Yeah. The FCC has no power over your blog, Sean. Calm down. I understand that, but that's not what I'm worried about. Let's see here. The chances that Jimmy Kimmel is replaced by Ethan Ralph, that would be hilarious. They're like, we got a great show tonight. We got them goddamn A-locks, just won't leave me alone. Our sponsor tonight is Xanax and tequila. Yes, Craig Ferguson was just all about being a degenerate sex pest. So, yes. Yeah, 100%. 100%. Tim Riggs for $20. Thank you, Tim. Says, I enjoy watching the Tacitus turn on the hands that wielded them for so long. But my side needs also to make sure we don't descend to the levels we fought so hard against. That being said, these fuckers do need consequences. I agree, and that's where I'm torn. I want to make sure we're doing it. I want to make sure it's correct. I have no problem watching these people burn, but I need to make sure they rightfully burn. And then Tim Riggs gifting 20 subs. Let's fucking go, chat. Let's go. That gets you another one. That gets you. Yeah, you got to get your woos in, chat. And then Scarebro says GOP are the real censors. It built up over the weekend to this. Kimmel again could be a patsy to feed into it. Just push the cancellation up. Like I said, could it be? Sure. Right now it hasn't been confirmed, and I'm very sus about it. And then Steven Cooper with 10 subs. And Shredder S07 with 10 subs. Thank you both guys for your generosity and support. Thank you so much. I mean, like I said, guys, I got concerns, man. I got concerns. And I'm not 100%. Not 100% on this. We'll see. We will see. Let's see here. Oh my gosh. Let me see here. Okay, so there is somebody just put something up. I'm trying to see some people sent me some things here. Seeing what these links are. Yeah, I'm trying to see here, guys. All right. All right with that. So for now, until I can get this thing there, somebody linked me part of a article, but I need the full article because I want to read it. We're not going to go over just a screenshot of something. And then EDW record for $5 says, Sean, are you a Hibernian? Are you related to Conan? No. Even though I may have been written into the Cimmerillion, I am not. And then Mystery Sniper for $9.88. Says Jimmy Kimmel bought a train ticket to the Poland oven factory. Jesus. Benjamin Lewis says for 20 months. Thank you for that kind of support. Says life in prison, listening to Charlie Kirk reruns. That would be funny. Oh, yes. That for the killer, give Tyler Robinson an iPod and it's only full of Charlie Kirk stuff. Fire PA for $199.9999999. Says, one more talk show host firing away from DPRK TV. No, but I mean, like, these, I'm not worried about those guys getting fired if the market kills them off. That's fine. That's fine. Tim Riggs, been a member for 13 months, says trust but verify. Yes, I agree, Tim. Trust but verify. And I'm a little sketch right now on this. So thank you for being here 13 months. I appreciate it. And then Graham for 37 months. Graham, I think you got like one of the longest running streaks out there, man. I think you do. Thank you for being here. 37 months, 3 years ago, chat. August of 2022. Actually, hang on, 2022. Yeah, 2022. I'd have been 37. Wow, time flies. I was still in my 30s back then. Yeah, so anyway. Pam Bondi graduated from the Tim Walz School of First Amendment Jurisprudence. Yeah. I've not been, the way Pam Bondi talked about all that shit was not impressive to me. Even if she's an idiot, I've not been happy. Not been happy at all. Enough for the dead late night shows. Can we talk about the GOP is going full 90s and 2000s and playing video games for the assassination? No, we're going to talk about Antifa getting labeled a terrorist organization. That'll be more fun. And then Hunch, the dirty roofer, for $5 says this Kimmel hype to make it press for what is next. His numbers have been in the tank forever. He made himself an edgy boy for clicks. Wait for the podcast. Yeah. And then Mikey for $10. Thank you, Mikey. Says, can the amendment go straight to the Patriot Act and the Defense Authorization Act on Antifa now? Well, I don't think the NDAA got the NDAA is no more, but they have the AUMF. The government can be fully weaponized against the left. Yeah, well, yeah, there's some stuff you can do here. That's the NDAA for 2025. Actually, it was signed by Joe Biden before he left. But all the crazy shit in the NDAA is not as much there. But the AUMF, if they get labeled a terrorist organization, I mean, it can happen. Stuff can happen there. Let me see here. What did somebody just send me in Discord here? Hold on, I gotta see. Let me. Okay. This is not something I can use, but we'll get to some of this. I mean, I will say there are some comments from the left where I'm just like, you look at like this Gavin Newsom thing here, and I do. Like, part of me wants to say, Safa, you fucking faggots. We're firing commentators and canceling shows. Yeah, I mean, yes. Imagine it's almost like the government went on Twitter and forced people not to publish things. Like, it's not like we've done that before. It's not like we've done that before, man. It's not like we've had to deal with that before. So I love how they're acting like this is all like, yeah. Yeah, so I'm not too yeah. Now what I was gonna say is hold on here. What was I going to say? Now, I guess here's where this helps us explain some stuff. I think this is a BBC article. I think this is kind of explaining some things here. Okay, so ABC's announcement came just after one of the biggest owners of TV stations, Extra Media, said it would not air Jimmy Kimmel Live for the foreseeable future. Okay. But that sounds like in the time frame this happened after Brendan Carr made his comments. So that's where I'm a little iffy. Like I said, chat, that's where I got a little bit of an iffiness here. So that's where it's, yeah. Sinclair, the largest affiliate group, said it was going to do something for Charlie Kirk on Friday, which is, suffer. Now, let me see here. Let's see if we can find, because there was somebody said there was yeah. Is there? No, there's only one comment about apology there. So hold on. Yeah, I haven't seen. People have this comment out there. I can't fucking read it, so it doesn't help me here. Doesn't help me here. Yeah, I'm trying to find something here that would help us look at stuff, chat. But yeah. So not so sure about that. Not so sure about that at this point. So Gaga. Oh, I have no sympathy. If someone, I hope if someone on the flight logs, then I have no sympathy. Well, I understand that. I understand that, having no sympathy for people in that situation. The vice president got a lot of super chats. He should try Twitch. Well, that was hilarious. Yes, when he covered for Charlie Kirk. Jack Brower says here in Europe, the left accuses the right of doing what they ended up themselves doing. It's very confused. Yes. Who is Gavin? This is Gavin Newsom, the governor of California. This is the governor of California trying to tell everybody, that the fascists are coming. It's like, I remember COVID, buddy. I remember the whole fucking thing. So, yes, ultimately, I want to say you get what you fucking deserve. But like I said, I want to make sure that's actually happening from me and you. I don't want the government getting their greasy dick beaters involved. And Jim is saying it was the affiliates that caused it. As long as it was the affiliates, I'm all on board. I just want to know the timing of that, because Brendan Carr talks, and then later that day, Jimmy Kimmel's done. I want to know the timing of that. That's my only concern. That's my only concern. So, it's my only concern. This is my only concern. Cleveland Slowest says, has Sean gotten bigger? No, just still fat. So, what happened to Cleveland Fire Chief? He got in trouble for running his mouth, which, I don't really need the head of the fire department, cheering on people getting killed. That's kind of bad for business. Gavin's the nephew of Nancy Pelosi? Really? Wow. You have the Kimmel's statement in the 9/16 email. Oh, thank you, Jim. I did not. I haven't had time to read anything today or yesterday. I was really fucking busy. So, let me see here. I don't see your 9/16 one, so that doesn't help me here. You don't have a 9/16 one that you sent me. So, Brendan Carr is the chairman of the FCC, the Federal Communication Commission. He's running a stream right now saying the affiliates were going nuts. I mean, if they were, then great. I want it to be the people that got rid of him, not the government. So Sean knows well where this is heading. As long as it's heading in the right direction, if people are going to be, if the community is going to police and regulate speech, I'm fine with that. I don't want the government to be handing that if it's the people could take care of it. So that is my point. That is my point. So corporations aren't people, Sean. Yes, I know that. So Brandon Carr used to be an NFL quarterback. Yeah. Newsom is part of the Getty family? Really? I did not know. I did not know. Huh. Yeah, that would be an awful fucking table to hang out at. Let me see here. Yes, fuck that. Those worms lecture the plebs about being moral, and then they talk shit and get hit. Yes. Like I said, I don't feel bad for Jimmy Kimmel getting fucked. I want to make sure we're the ones who fuck. It better be us who fucked him. That's all I want. Confirm to me that we fucked him to death, not the government. That's all I'm asking for, Chad. That's all I'm asking for. You were a lefty until this year. Good job. Well, there we go. Really? Sinclair says suspension is not enough. Wow. That's interesting. Hold on here. Wow, okay. Woo, buddy. Whoa, buddy. Jimmy Kimmel. Protect your fucking neck, homie. Protect your neck. Sinclair Broadcasting, chat. This is Sinclair Broadcasting. One of the the Sinclair Broadcast Group. They are the largest owner of affiliate stations. They have 193 stations in over 100 markets. 40% of American households. They're the second largest behind the Nexstar Media Group. Yeah, man. They are, their revenue is $6.8 billion. Like, yeah, these are the big ones. The two biggest, so the 40% share and the Nexstar is the biggest. They own WGN. They own the CW. Like, Nexstar is huge, if you guys didn't know that. They also do News Nation. So they are absolutely massive in size. What they control and what they're doing. But if Sinclair Broadcasting is really coming out like this, oh man. So they say Sinclair and says objects to the comments made by Jimmy Kimmel. As discussed with ABC earlier today, they decided to indefinitely preempt Jimmy Kimmel Live beginning tonight. There we go, chat. We fucked them. Chat, we can take off the taken down by the FCC. Nope. We did this, chat. We did it. We did it, chat. Round of applause, chat. He's raped. We took him down. We tried to tell you guys, I understand that, but I gotta have confirmation. You guys is telling me it's okay, and I need to hear the affiliate saying, down with these motherfuckers. I need to see that confirmation. I can't. You guys gotta understand that's not how I operate, because I'm not the only person who looks at this. You guys might come to me, but other people are gonna need to know. I need to know. I need to know. I need to know. It's like the song goes. Like I had to know, and I had to be able to verify. Now I feel a lot better. Now I feel so much better. We're all good to go, chat. We are good to go. I love this now. There we go, chat. Saving it. Changing the title, chat. Jimmy Kimmel taken down by the consumers. Do not trust chat. Well, that's true. Trust the plan, sandwich man. Oh. So. Suffer, commies. Suffer. So. Suffer. That's all I got to say at this point. This is good fucking news. This is good news. We did it, chat. We did it. We did it. But let's get through this. Let's get through this. I'm not even American, but I was root for the people. We appreciate that out there. Nothing but love to freedom-loving people all around the world. Jim says Hassan is spurging out right now. Like, is Hassan live? Good. Suffer, Hassan! Suffer, commies! Yes. He's showless! He's got no show! He's jobless! He's got no job! Yeah, I don't feel bad about this now. I don't feel bad about it at all. I don't feel bad now if that's the case. If the government did that, I don't care. I don't care then. I don't care. I don't care that getting rid of Jimmy Kimmel's like exposing the pus in an infected cyst right now. That's what we just did, America. We did it. Attaboy. Attaboy. I'm so proud of you, chat. I'm so proud of America. We finally took out the fucking trash. And you know what? If it came to forcing... No, hold on one second. Sorry, I thought 2.0 was talking. So I just wanted to make sure she was okay. In case I need to go take care of her. The chat is questioning. So never underestimate the power of martyrs. Yes. Jim says check Discord. Okay. Oh, well, here we go. Thank you for this. Yes. Jimmy Kimmel's fucking livid. Oh, poor baby. We'll get to this in a minute. I'm going to read this investor statement. Notice, you fuck around with the investors, man. Uh-oh. So these remarks were inappropriate and deeply insensitive, said the vice chairman. We believe broadcasters have a responsibility to educate and elevate constructive things. And it says, now here's where I get a little iffy. We appreciate the chairman's remarks today, and this incident highlights a critical need for the FCC to take immediate regulatory action. It sounds like it is. It sounds like it is, chat, but it sounds like this is already in the works. It sounds like this was already in the works, which makes me feel better. So, but they want regulatory control over local broadcasters held by big national networks. It'll air a special remembrance to Charlie Kirk on Friday. The special will air to all Sinclair stations this weekend. In addition, they're offering a special to all ABC affiliates across the country. Whoa! Oh, wow! They're going to war with the fucking networks, chat. Suffer! Suffer, tiny hats! Sinclair will not lift suspension of Jimmy Kimmel until formal discussions are held with ABC. They also issue a direct apology to the Kirk family. Furthermore, we asked Jimmy to make a meaningful donation. Okay, this is a bit much of the Kirk family and TPUSA, but that would be funny. Watching him cut the checks. They say regardless of the plans for the future, they tend to not return Jimmy Kimmel Live to our air until we're confident appropriate steps have been taken. And oh man, yes, they have 178 television stations in 81 markets. Wow. Wow, chat. Oh, buddy. Yep, they're putting it in Jimmy Kimmel's slot. Yes. Based investors, yeah. The investors got mad. Aren't they also the tiny hats, though? Sinclair is not a tiny hat name, but I'm sure they're tiny hatted too. Local advertising's been hurting from these disasters, yeah. Next, will Sean support the war in Iraq? I mean, Iran. Is it actually in Iraq? Who knows? We might invade Iraq again. Who knows? Why not? We've done it twice. Let's do it 3 times. Urban Decay says, well, getting the FCC involved is the only way they could threaten them besides pulling out all their money when the stock was down, wasn't it? So, yeah, if Sinclair pushed on the FCC to get involved, I'm fine with that. That's based. Because at that point, it's still the people pushing the companies to go do something. So, I can handle that. Meme says, is something happening or is nothing happening? Oh, no, something happening. Jimmy Kimmel got taken off the air. So, yeah, suffer, bitches. And I thought South Park was just on streaming, yeah. Oh. So. So, did they finally find his trampoline girls and blackface clips? I don't know, but whatever. Whatever happened. He could suffer. Jimmy's getting cut by the 401ks out there. Everybody with a 401k was like, nope, we ain't doing it. What did Jimmy Kimmel say? Jimmy Kimmel just kind of said a bunch of bullshit about the shooter being right-wing and kind of like, yeah, nothing too outlandish. But remember, people are like, why can't you just be like, oh my God, it's awful. This guy got fucking murdered. And Jimmy Kimmel says he doesn't feel bad about any of that and wouldn't apologize for any of it. So, yeah, people don't like it when you cheer on fucking murder. Or you just act like, hey, it's cool. No, most society doesn't like that. So, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, but it's bad optics if he wants to be progressive, yeah. He said MAGA's politicizing. I know, we're going to get to this now. He's now crying. He's crying, Tat. Tatty's crying. Oh, he's so mad. Jimmy Kimmel. He's reportedly fucking livid. Jimmy Kimmel is absolutely fucking livid, according to people there. Jimmy, 57, was left fuming over the Wednesday decision to suspend him and pull it air off indefinitely after he unleashed a hateful tirade against the gunned-down conservative activist Charlie Kirk during Monday night's monologue. Sources and producers told the Daily Mail, suffer, fag boy. Fucking suffer. And they say he's absolutely fucking livid and he's pissed. Well, can fucking cry about it. This is clearly government overreach. There's no such thing as free speech in America. Well, the investors seem to disagree. If the government can lean on companies to stop any content they don't like, well, it doesn't sound like that happened. If it did, you're right. But if it didn't happen that way, sounds like the company already was going to get rid of you, buddy. Sources told the outlet that the network's decision is the last straw for Kimmel, who's actively looking to break out of his contract. Oh, yeah, I'm sure. You can't quit me. You can't fire me. I quit. And he came under fire when he was claiming the MAGA gang was trying to score points. Well, yeah. Duh. And it's, says after Charlie Kirk's, thing here, it says he was shot down with a single bullet. He says, we've hit some, and yeah, here's what he said. He's like, we hit new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang trying to characterize this kid who killed Charlie as anything other than one of them. And doing everything they can to score points from it. And yeah, Nexstar said they were going to serve as the primary affiliate for ABC, confirmed it would preempt. And you know what? This makes me more comfortable. They did this before the FCC spoke. That's good. That's good. I would rather have that happen that way. So, yeah. So good job. Good job. So good job, Jimmy Kimmel. I hope it fucking hurts in hell. Sean's tit status iced down. I iced down my titties. They're all good now. So yeah, they hit a copium vein, yes. Robot Glock says, we've gone far from Larry Frintz. I disapprove of what you say, but I will defend to the death your right to say it. Well, I'm defending it. We're allowed to say I don't want that. At some point, you're allowed to say, sorry, that's too fucking much. I'm allowed to say, like, you have the right to say it. I also have the right to not patronize you. So, no, we haven't gone that far away from it, really. People just don't want your bullshit. Jimmy Kimmel ran his fucking mouth and he thought it'd be funny and he sat in his room with all his fucking asshole joke writers. They wrote that joke and he came out and nobody fucking liked it. He has the right to say it and we have the right to say, sorry, I don't fucking want it. So, let me see here. Yeah, the 401k and decent credit scores win again, yes. No one is seething right now more than Lulbertarians, yes. The Lulberts always seethe. They always seethe. So, and he could say it. Yeah, he could say it. He shouldn't be arrested for it. But beyond that, if there's consequences, that fucking happens. Yeah. Money talks, bish. Oh. So he says, yeah, no, I see why you were friends with Ricada, really. Grifters are all gay, lol. I mean, I was friends with a guy till I realized he was kind of a fucking, wasn't exactly anything that he claimed to be. And yeah, I was kind of like, I don't want that no more. So I guess, but there you go. Poffin, I don't agree with this. You could say it, but if you are an act, you have a duty. I don't think that's the case at all. You can say whatever you want. Nobody has to listen to you. Nobody has to buy your tickets. Nobody has to support you. You can say whatever you want. Nobody has to accept it. You notice nobody's hurting him. They're just like, we don't want your business anymore. We don't want to support you. You're allowed to do that. You are allowed to do that. So. Oh, to the network. Okay. Yeah. Sorry. That would make more sense. No one's watching Kimmel, actually. I know, probably. I mean, like, who really did anymore? Who watched any of that stuff anymore? Let me see here. So, let's see. We got to catch up on some things here. Scarebro says, check Discord. Nick Ricada can now do all the coke he wants so long as he's driving in Hennepin County, Minnesota. Yes, I saw that. That's very interesting that they're, I mean, it's kind of a base thing that they're basically allowing that to happen. It is very, 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 very interesting. So let me see here. I need to bring that up just so I have it for tomorrow. It's actually a good thing. And then what is here? Okay. But yeah, we'll cover the Nick Ricada thing tomorrow. But yes, they're basically kind of awesome here. So yeah, suffer Jimmy Kimmel. Suffer. That guys, you have no idea how good this makes me feel right now. I was so fucking worried, and I reacted. Unforced Ego for 15 months. Thank you for being here. Thank you for that support. Oh, my back of my head's itching. Sean, just want to say thanks for having the most plentiful and consistent members and locals content out there. Well, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. Like I said, I keep telling you guys make this more than I do. I just sit here and act like an idiot on camera. You guys are, filling up the comments. Like when I first started doing this and it was only like, 10 people, I was like, oh my gosh, it's so cool. And then like I remember telling 2.0 when I first started, it's like, there were like 10 people, there were 50 people, there were 100 people tonight, babe. So I mean it. You guys are the people, you guys are the support. You guys, views or support, like all of it support. Thank you so much. Thank you guys. Scooby Jew is a new member. Thank you, Scoob. Malcolm says, classes are starting back up for me. Should I be an asshole to my English 101 professor about his misspellings in my assignment description? I mean, if he's going to start docking you points, yes. Otherwise, be careful. Be very careful. Fire at PA for 199 says, ladies and gentlemen, we got him. Thank you. Mikey's been a mayor for 14 months. Says Hassan got doxxed by Domino's today. Ah! But I think we already know his house because he bought it. But suffer, Hassan. Fucking suffer. Been a mayor for 14 months, Mikey. Thank you for your support. But suffer, Hassan, suffer. The amateur iconoclast saying, I have a meeting with my supervisor in the morning. Should I suggest to my employer go on an HR, an ANTIFA hunt in HR, corporate communications, and legal? Yes. Yes. Purge the communists. Purge them. Show them no quarter. For they are communists and they are not people. Purge them all. Augustus Tiberius saying for $9.99. Do I think Sinclair could have been sued by Erica Kirk somehow? No. They're not like they aired it, but that's going to be a very tenuous argument. ABC and Disney would have been on the hook. I don't see them like. Yeah, I don't think so. But I mean, like she could have tried to sue him, but I doubt she would have anyway because she's like, Charlie wasn't a faggot like that. He wouldn't have wanted me to do this. If I had to guess. Super Wiener for 18 months. Thank you for being here that long. Says he's a bum. He's showless. Suffer, titty bow. Yes. John Gordon, who's been a member for 5 months, says, whoa, buddy. Yes. And then Tim Riggs again. Thank you, Tim. Say, can you imagine the advertising apocalypse that hit the networks if RFK gets his way and shuts down pharma ads? I know. Oh my God, they will not let him survive if that happens. That would not work. Stephen Cooper says, I think a donation would be good for Kimmel. After all, as Arnold Rothstein says, yes. As Arnold Rothstein is famous for saying.
Nothing says I'm sorry like money.
Yes, nothing says I'm sorry like money. Very true. Thank you for remembering that. I appreciate you helping me call back the clips. That's the best. I love the participation chat. Yes, we should support Jimmy Kimmel with the USAID money. Yes. And yes, these are the rules the left made. We are merely playing them. And if we could play your game better than you, that's the problem. That's your fault. So, Mahmoud Khalil is being deported. What? Oh my God, this day just keeps getting better and better. And they're tearing down Hugo Chavez statues in Venezuela. Thank you, God. Today has been a beautiful day. If I didn't have to use, well, I don't have an AK chat, but I got the spiritual forefather to the AK-47, the Emma Garand. And if I don't have to use that, today is a good day. So, today was a good day. Boom. So am I tired of winning yet? No. No. Stephen Cooper says, my AK is still in police custody. Oh, no. He's being sent to Algeria or Syria? Oh, my God. I got to see this. I got to see this. Okay, hold on here. Remember, I'm suspicious this guy's a British glowy because he worked for the FCO, the Foreign Commonwealth Office. Well, he's an Algerian Palestinian guy, which, remember, Palestinian is not a nationality. But he's part Algerian. Okay, well, going to Algeria makes sense. So we'll see what happens here, though. Let's see, though. Let's see what happened to him, though. What happened, though? Okay, Politico. Let's see if there's an order for this. Lawyers for the pro-Palestinian activists said they plan to appeal it. Immigration judge orders him deported to Syria or Algeria. Fuck. Fucking hell, man. Fucking hell, that's cold. You're as cold as ice. Syria kicked him out for being too extreme. I didn't know that. That's interesting. Oh, let me see. Why no AK? Because I don't have one. Maybe I'll talk to Floodbusters. He'll build me one. Yeah, well, he's dead. Yeah, maybe. Hold on here, though. Wow, chat. Wow. Let's see. Let's see. This is, ooh, man. So they plan to appeal it. I'm sure they're going to appeal it, and they're going to get denied. They're going to get recated. So this is him. He's a Palestinian originally from Syria. So an immigration judge has ordered, and let's see what this ordering means. Is there an actual document? Oh, we do have a document. We do have a document here, chat. Oh, this is like 20-some page. Oh. All right, here we go. Let me see here. Is this a... So this is... Is this the actual order from the court? Yes, here we go, chat. Oh, buddy. Oh, buddy, we're doing this. We're doing it live, chat. Here we go. Here we go. Okay. So the actual order here, let's see what this says. Let's see what this says. So amended decision and order the immigration judge. Let's see what this is saying to him. So on June 20th, 2025, they issued a written decision denying his application for asylum. You know, under everything. And guys, remember, you can seek asylum under the Convention Against Torture. And that's a valid thing. That is an actual thing you can claim. That if you send me somewhere, I'll be tortured. Okay, well. In ordering the respondent removed to Algeria and Syria on the alternative. The court's June 20th decision is incorporated in its entirety. So he's going to get removed to Algeria, and he's part Algerian, so there you go. Or he's going to Syria. So they say that on July 3rd, they filed a motion to reconsider. That was denied. The respondent's counsel filed a reply to the motion. The court denied this motion on July 16th. On July 17th, the District Court for New Jersey issued an order clarifying the meaning of its preliminary order injunction. And the District Court found junctions of the decision at odds with the June 11th preliminary injunction and ordered the respondent to cause this court to vacate or amend its June 20th decision. So they say in compliance with the order, well, actually, so here what? District Court ordered this to consider an appropriate, full, and thorough manner and then determine whether the respondent should be granted a waiver of removability in connection with the charge of removability, and 2, whether he should be afforded an evidentiary hearing. So this is from when he sued for this. And they said, okay, so in compliance with that, oh shit, you guys can't see this. Fuck. So We're going to do this here. Ooh, buddy. Sorry, chat. So this is from the United States Department of Justice. The Office of Immigration Review. Remember, chat, if you're an immigration judge, you are an Article 2 judge. You are a employee of the Immigration Service, which basically, and this gets reviewed by the DOJ. So you're a government attorney. So in compliance with the orders of the court, this court reopened removal proceedings on July 18th. So we reopened it. We're looking at it again. On that same day, they filed a motion to change venue. So they're like, no, we're not changing venue. On July 30th, the court issued a scheduling order requiring evidence regarding the waiver to be filed no later than August 11th. Pursuant to the court's order, the court issued an order vacating its decision of April 11th, finding the respondent as removable as charged. And this court's July 31st thing is incorporated. So they vacated it. They're saying, look, he's not removable yet. They're finding him removable now. And they said that they submitted additional evidence in support of this. And the court now issues a written decision. As an initial matter, the court finds that based on the voluminous evidentiary record, an evidentiary hearing is not required because there's so much. We don't have to have a hearing on it. So he's seeking discretionary relief in the form of a waiver. Unlike an asylum claim, which requires the opportunity to be heard, discretionary relief has no requirement due to the nature of the relief created by Congress. And it says that an immigration judge may decline to hear testimony from any witness if he determines that testimony is duplicative, meaning just repeating shit, or unnecessary. So the evidence that was presented. Let's see what was presented here. So they have the immigration judge's written decision. Couple forms that were filed, the DHS's opposition, the court's order denying the motion to reconsider. You see all this here, the rejection notices. All this was considered here. Okay. And then he submitted a bunch of stuff. They submitted a bunch of exhibits. They also have more that got submitted. See, 300 pages of documents and information. In this case here, 274 pages, 455 pages. I mean, like, he submitted a lot of shit in his own defense. And it says waiver. So he's asking for a discretionary waiver of removability. And based on the charges of inadmissibility at the time, at the time of admission under the Immigration Act, for fraud or willful misinterpretation, an applicant bears a burden that he is eligible for relief and that he merits a favorable exercise of the court's discretion. Immigration law is a cold-hearted bitch, chat. Immigration is a bitch. So. Yes, it says afuera. It does. But let's see what they're getting at here. So in order to demonstrate he merits a waiver, he must first establish he's statutorily eligible. To establish the eligibility, he must be the spouse, parent, son, or daughter of a living USC or LPR. He must have been in possession of an immigrant visa or equivalent document at the time of admission. And 3, have been otherwise admissible at the time of such admission except for those grounds of inadmissibility. If found eligible, he must demonstrate the favorable exercise. The court identifies 2 issues concerning his eligibility. And first, he's not eligible based on his removability pursuant to 237A4C. It's a charge is not waivable. So his removability would render the request moot. And what's the issue here? So they said that in assessing his eligibility, the court would deny the waiver, but for the order issued by the New Jersey court. And hold on, what is INA 237A4C? So hold on here. Let me see here. Let me see here, Chad. I'm trying to bring it up. Oh, I can't find it. We're gonna have to come. We'll come back to that. We'll come back to it. So they're saying he's not eligible. They say the second they find the conflict in the case as it relates to his statutory eligibility. At its inception, it did not allow waiver for fraud committed during adjustment of status, but only applied to fraud at the time of entry. And there's some issues here for him, and I know what they're probably getting at here. Now, they're pointing out that there are some immigration, they're talking about different immigration issues here. And they're like, we're not addressing these. And they point out that some of this stuff were not unanimous decisions. So they point out, though, that there are problems and the courts have wrestled with definitions. And you could apply and you appeal to a circuit court. So eventually this, and you saw this guy here, this guy sues the INS, and you see all these. People are suing the INS. You go to the 4th Circuit, 9th Circuit, wherever you're at. They can sue for that. Where did it moves? I hate this when it fucking moves around too much. So they have issued decisions regarding the definition of admission. And post-entry adjustment of status, meaning you, depending on what they rate you or they classify you as, your status gets adjusted. They say each of these cases considers the intent. And they say in the 5th Circuit, where this court sits, determined that the statutory language is the most instructive and reliable indicator of Congress's intent. Meaning we just look at the statute. That's all we have to do. They say absent a clearly expressed legislative intention to the contrary, the language must be considered conclusive. So that's where it goes here. Now, what do they do here? So they talk about this. And this is, guys, and this is really getting into the weeds for me with the INS at this point. Well, it says the Immigration and Nationalization Service. Okay, yeah, it's folded into CB. Okay, CPB, yes. But the INA isn't part of this. But they were part of this before. So they go through this and they point out he is ineligible. And they say his problem ultimately comes down to he's statutory ineligible for the waiver as his willful misrepresentation or fraud occurred after his entry into the United States. So after he got to the U.S., he lied. And from what I understand, he lied on some of his green card stuff. Is part of the issue here. And it's like, well, you gotta go. You gotta go. And they say, assuming an arguendo that, for the sake of argument, he was statutorily eligible, he must demonstrate he matters and meets the waiver requirements. And they must balance his undesirability as an LPR. And hold on here. And as a lawful permanent resident on this, with the social and humane considerations present. Does he have family ties in the United States? No. Has he resided here a long time? No. Was it here when he was young? No. Evidence of hardship to his family? No. If deportation occurs, stable employment history, hasn't really had one. The existence of property or business? No. Evidence of value and service to the community? No. And other evidence of good character. And they say adverse factors include the circumstances of the fraud, the nature serious of criminal records, and other additional evidence that are for his bad character or undesirability as a long-term permanent resident. Or lawful permanent resident, not long-term, they're lawful. And they say the court acknowledges the positive equities in his case. He has family ties during his relatively short tenure. Oh, I forgot he got some chick knocked up, including his U.S. citizen wife and his U.S. citizen son. They say, although not the exclusive factor, the court may consider the degree of hardship they may suffer. They say his wife is gainfully employed. You know, they consider the form declarations that they offered support for the mental and emotional hardship she may suffer. The court finds the hardship here is consistent with which would be ordinarily expected from a family member's removal, saying that's not enough. Everybody has a hardship. So the court also considered the lack of criminal history for this guy. Yeah. So the most obvious negative factor here is the letter from the United States Secretary of State finding his presence has potentially serious adverse foreign policy consequences for the U.S. Now, okay, I thought it's because he lied on his immigration shit, but all right, well. As previously found by the circuit, the immigration judge lacks the authority to question foreign policy decisions made by the Secretary of State. Yep. Yeah, you can't. It's not your position. The court finds this factor alone outweighs the positive equities in this case and denies the waiver as a matter of discretion on that basis. However, this court will make alternative findings as to discretion, independent and apart from the U.S. Secretary of State's assessment. Now they're going to they're saying because it's not just that, we'll come up with other reasons here. So what happened? He lacks the long-term residence in this country and has only been in the U.S. since 2022. He entered as a student to complete his graduate studies at the Ivy League University, which he completed in 2025. His employment is limited to internships from the university while enrolled in school, and he has not presented any evidence he was employed in any other capacity. Well, he was getting paid with USAID money and, organization money. There's no evidence of property or business ties. More importantly, he is a conditional lawful permanent resident and not reached the pivotal point of adjusting status permanently. They also take into other considerations the underlying fraud in the course of applying for adjustments. He failed to disclose his involvement with UNWRA, the United Nations Relief and Works Agency for Palestinian Refugees, and the Columbia University Apartheid Divest on his Form I-485. Candid disclosures may have triggered the need for additional information and further processing, involving some degree of discretionary decision-making on part of the Customs and Immigration Service adjudicator. The evidence shows the respondent knew of the potential immigration consequences for his involvement in various organizations. The respondent was quoted in the news stating he did not participate in the protest because he was worried about the immigration consequences. Specifically, he might lose his student visa. They find the lack of candor and purposeful failure to disclose to be significant negative factors. His involvement with basically UNWRA, which basically fucking ran supplies to the Hamas, where such the truth would have predictably disclosed other facts relevant. And they say there's no indication Congress ever intended an applicant to benefit from a waiver when he willfully and intentionally failed to accurately report information post-entry. Rather, it's for applicants who, due to no fault of their own, find themselves removable from the U.S. For example, if you entered as children and later became removable, perfect. Or those intending to be reunited with their family after being abroad. The waiver was not designed to reward a lack of candor by applicants admitted as visa holders who then intentionally engage in dishonesty. A waiver would render the application process meaningless and improperly shift the burden to demonstrate the integrity of the information to the U.S. government. And that's fair. You fucking lie, you're out. He's out, chat. He's out. He lied. They say the court finds that he is an intelligent, Ivy League educated individual that understood the bold capitalized letters of Part 8, page 9 on the 485, requiring disclosure of his UNWRA and Quad affiliations. So yes, they're pointing out, yes, Mahmoud Khalil's like, I am a smart man. It's like, we agree you're a smart man. You fucking knew better. And he's like, wait, not like that. He's like, no. And let's get to page 8, chat. Let's get to page 8 of the I-485. Oh, no, buddy. Oh, no. Let's see here. Let's see what page 8, part 4 of the I-485 says. And is that, hold on, make sure I got the right spot. Yes, the capitalized letters at part on page 8 and page 9. Okay. So the bold capitalized letters. So, unless they changed it, I don't see. Wait, hold on. Where is it's not showing up here. Page 8 to page 9, there's no bolding. That's Oh, the employment and educational history. Provide all of your employment and education history for the last 5 years. Provide your current employment and school attended first. Include periods of employment, unemployment, or retirement. So yeah, he didn't list people. He didn't list it all out. He was told to do that and he didn't do it. Didn't want to say I work for some sketchy fucking groups. Oh no. Oopsie poopsie. Oopsie poopsie. So the court further finds he understood the consequences that the candid disclosure might lead to additional lines of questioning and the ultimate denial. This court finds the lack of candor not an oversight by an uninformed, uneducated applicant. It was a purposeful non-disclosure. And it says, rather, this court finds the respondent willfully misrepresented material facts for the sole purpose of circumventing the immigration process and reducing the likelihood his application would be denied. And it says to do so to allow this to happen would allow future applicants to take the gamble of lying. They say in balancing the equities, the court finds that he has not shown the existence of a compelling countervailing equities that favor that merit a favorable exercise of discretion. Womp, 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 womp. Suffer, yeah. Better luck in Algeria. Maybe you could fucking lie while you're there. Better luck in Algeria. Better luck next time, buddy. Maybe you can lie to someone else. So, womp, 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 womp. Oh. Chat. Like I said, don't feel bad for him. He lied. He lied. Oh, fuck him. Fuck him, chat. Say, speaking of investors, says the amateur iconoclast, can the investors of the company sue the former CEO if that CEO's actions got a company a $19 million fine from the SEC? You can't. Well, I mean, it depends on what happens. I mean, maybe, but that's going to be really tough because unless you could show like fiduciary duties were violated, maybe, but I don't think so unless you're going after a specific company. KJ says, my favorite blogger, Clyde. Well, thank you, KJ. Thank you for being here 19 months. 19. Super Iron Bob says, I thank Nick for introducing me to better men than him. Well, thank you. Thank you. Jefferson Post says, how much togu can Nick take into Hennepin County? I don't know. Pounds of it. Stacy says, is everybody ready for Milo to get back into the game? No. Milo's done. He passed. We no longer need him in the battle. Thank you for being here 21 months, Stacy. Thank you so much. Justice Smith has been here for 23 months, says, we got him. That's right, chat, we did. Then Stardust Collector says, now that Antifa is a terrorist group, how is Starbucks going to get anybody to work for him? Well, it's not official yet. Trump's saying it doesn't make it so. Been there, done that says, if you're reading this, you are gay. LMAO.
You are gay. LMAO.
Yes, you are gay. Fire PA 498 says, Sean, we can say Merry Christmas again. Yes, no more happy holidays. Amateur Iconoclast says, after all us winning, I'm going to come. Well, don't come. Don't come. Cope and Sneed has been a member for 13 months. Says, Sean, why are there so many bears in chat? I don't know. I don't know why they're here, but they're here. Keopathic says, flee a country and seek asylum, stating torture. Become such a massive shithead in your own country, in your new country. Couldn't be white. Very true. Very true. Dirty Eric says, Algeria, so he'll be a problem in France tomorrow. Yes. Yes. Have fun in France with all your Algerian buddies. Have fun with that. Milo has a federal handler. Yeah, that's what I'm kind of worried about there, too. So, he spent too much time down and out. Garrett says, I'm so sad Charlie had to die to bring us that clip. I know, but it's really good.
You are gay, LMAO.
I think at the end of the day, Charlie Kirk would appreciate it. He's probably up there laughing right now. You know, up there playing shuffleboard with Jesus. So. Oh. So. All right. Now, moving on from there, chat, we've got one more thing we're going to get to tonight. It's already midnight. Wow. Say, what time do I have to be up in the morning? I should probably check. What time do I got to be up? I got to be up. What time we got stuff tomorrow? Got to be up. Oh, damn. Really? Hold on, chat. I got to check an email. This can't be right. This can't be right. Oh, please tell me this is not correct. Oh my God, it is. It has not been changed. Fuck, man. All right, we're going to get to this quick here. Oh, God. Oh. All right, we're going to get to this. Antifa. This is... So President Trump over on his Twitter through his True Social, while he's out in England, out there whining and dining the royal family, he labeled Antifa, or said he was declaring them, a terror organization, which let me see. Where is this at here? This is a big fucking deal, but here's the problem. This has come out, which, you know, I'm pleased to inform many USA patriots that I'm designating Antifa a sick radical left disaster as a major terrorist organization. I will also be recommending those funding Antifa be thoroughly investigated in accordance with the highest legal standards and practices. That's not enough. That's not enough. And yes, didn't we already declare them that? Well, I mean, maybe. But this is not a declaration. It needs to be an official declaration, which, is he going to get off the plane and sign that and say, we're going to start carpet bombing fucking Portland? Maybe. But as of right now, no. And I will say, chat, like I said, I am not worried about that as much because the commies, well, they could suffer. They can really suffer every day. That's all they're meant to do, is just suffer. So I don't feel bad about that. I just don't know what we're going to do with this right here. So I'm sure Stephen Miller's on the details, maybe, but we'll see. Topher says there's House Resolution 26. That's not important. If the president designates a group, a terrorist organization through the executive branch, that's what matters. So, so how long till Antifa goes after Tyler's furry self for causing the blowback? That would be funny because that happens in these types of situations. Like the bigger terrorist group kills the little one because the little one causes all the problems. Yeah, even the KKK isn't designated a terror group. Yep. Yep. Jefferson Post says, Your Honor, I'd like to reschedule due to all the winning we've had last night. I don't think that's going to work. Chet says, the issue is Antifa isn't an organization. It's a loosely aligned group of individuals that are only connected by them being all dumb commies. Yeah, but, you can identify them for who they are and, where they hold themselves out at. They consider themselves Black Bloc or whatever. They consider themselves part of these organizations. And so yeah, the State Department needs to release an official. Yeah, well, I don't think that's going to happen. That would be interesting. The Antifa is the FBI. Yeah, well, that's true as well. It's an official organizational leadership. I don't know if you could consider it that way. But there are people who identify. I mean, those guys in Texas, they were identified as Antifa. They believe they were. Andy knows some organizational charts. And yeah, that's what I mean. Like Al-Qaeda, has organization too. And we were able to go after them. So yes, you can do this. You can do this. The Rose City Antifa is an actual organization. Yes, there are actual organizations like that. But then, yeah, the smaller chapters identify. So, yeah, it's not different from Al-Qaeda or the IRA or other organizations. So, the John Brown Gun Club, they're kind of affiliated with it. Yeah. Yep. Armed Queers, that's something coming out of Salt Lake City. Yep, it's all being there. Total commie death. Total commie death. Tim Riggs for $10 says, I think the real crazy part is I don't think we've hit peak psycho yet from the left, but I'm optimistic that people in general are moving in a civilized direction. Well, I mean, like I said, guys, I told you, I got hope, and I got to hope we are. Got to be optimistic about it, that we could fix some things before we have to get too violent. But, maybe we do. Maybe some thumpings have to happen. Maybe a boot heel needs, the communist only understands the boot heel. It's like a junkyard dog. It only understands the boot heel. Mikey for $5 says, stay up, G. Plan's no good. Stay up with chat, G. Don't listen to the email. Be cool. Stay up with G. No, I gotta listen to the email because I gotta be in court. It's gonna be early. So, it's gonna be early. Jefferson Post says, Your Honor, I'd like to reschedule. Yeah, we will not. Denied. And the Philly DA in the town hall said that Trump is Hitler and MAGA equal fascist. The city needs to rebel to stop the overthrowing of the PA government. It's crazy. Yeah, it'd be nice. But like I said, guys, when you start saying somebody's fascist, you kind of make it clear there's only one thing to do at that point. You got to start taking care of stuff. Like, that's what happens when you have fascists. This machine makes folk music, as they say. So, court, call your first witness. No, it's not one of those. It's a bunch of hearings. Is the video? No, it's not a video hearing. When Sean, when does a pistol become an SBR? When you add a stock to it. And depending on your brace, it may consider that way. I mean, there's a bunch of stuff for that. So, yeah. And at this point, I took my pistol braced AR and just made an SBR. It was a lot easier. Makes a lot more sense. A lot cooler. So, John Brown was a Republican. John Brown was a psychopath. So, BT Junker says, Antifa equals whatever Trump wants it to be. Well, I mean, you got, I think you can easily identify Antifa. They show up, they attack people. They're wearing all black. They represent communist ideals. No, I think they're pretty identifiable. So, So, let's see here. Yeah, superior defense is correct. If you're under 16-inch barrel length and an overall 26-inch overall length, yes, you have an SBR. But if you're trying to make a pistol into an SBR, what's the line? We're kind of like dealing with that, but the ATF is supposed to not be really looking after that for now. Yes, the NFA does need to go, but it's not going anywhere. Not now. So he's sleepy here. I'm very fucking tired. What time is your thing in the morning? Early for court. I'm not looking forward to it. He's tuckered out, yes. Did people forget about the Antifa riots a decade ago? Did people forget about fucking 2020? Into 2021? Every night they were fighting the Portland police. You know, the guys, like, literally a whole cell of them attacked that place in Texas. So, yeah, points on the SBR chart board. Yeah, and that's a whole mess there. So, anyways, chat, it's good news. Jimmy Kimmel got taken down by the people. Mahmoud Khalil, you know what? He's going bye-bye for being just fucking, he fucking lied. It's simple. Bye, bitch. Be honest next time. Yeah, they set a police station on fire. They did all kinds of shit. So, yeah, the Berkeley riots, Ben Shapiro showing up, they attacked, like, everybody they went after. They're still fighting at the ICE facility in Portland. Yeah, they show up every night and attack. Jimmy Kimmel isn't funny. Charlie Kirk in 2017. Oh, for the beyond the long hand of history. Charlie Kirk with the long play going. Boop. Killing Jimmy Kimmel's career. So, there we go. Anyway, chat, we are going to land the plane. I really got to go to bed here. I'm so sorry. 581 people. Guys, please. Tomorrow night, 9:30, we got all kinds of stuff we're going to do and take a look at. You heard 5 cops were shot, 3 were dead, 2 survived. We'll take a look at that tomorrow because that'll be something we can look at then. Does this reinforce the view that they're fighting fascist Trump? I don't fucking care anymore. They think whatever he does is fascist, so fuck them all. They're commies. They can go to fucking hell and they can all die. And if they won't act like housebroken people, they can go to fucking hell. So you're like, but Sean, the bad people might do bad things. Like, fuck them. Fuck them all. Fuck them all, build the wall. Or build the wall and fuck them all. So, anyways, chat, with that said, good night. I will see you guys tomorrow. And remember, until next time. Also, good to see you, William. Just because you did it does not mean you're guilty. Unless you're a dumb fuck who lies on your immigration forms, then it's like. So, good night, chat, and I will talk to you guys later.
Weapons, blacksmithing, and models of planes, esoteric works, and even some trains. Much merriment had while drinking White Claws, tips on hunting, and even talking the law. Whatever.
EDW rat for $50 saying, wait, I forgot this.
You do, just don't talk to cops. Even when they nab you on illegal stops. Just cause you did it doesn't mean you're guilty. But please talk to a local attorney. Was that the fact